Okay. So I'm going to town here. Anya went to Ampawa, to the temple there with her sisters today. So I'm going. I was gonna go paddle, but there's so much of that hyacinth plant right out behind the compound that I can't get my boat into the water. Which is a bummer. That's the second day in a row. It kind of sucks. So I really want to get out and blow off some carbon, but can't do it. Hey Woofus, that's Big Red. Hey puppy. Hi puppy. Good doggy. Good doggy. Good doggy. I don't see a lot of red dogs around here. I decided I'd use instead of using my little camera on my cell phone, I decided I'd use my cheap Chinese GoPro because that last video I did was so wobbly. Anya said she couldn't watch it because it was just too shaky. So I decided to try something different. So hopefully this won't be quite as shaky for people to watch. Looks like they're getting stuff started at the restaurant today. This is the restaurant where the huge lizard lives. What do you call it? I seen him down there today. Yeah, so anyway, let me turn around here. So hopefully this will work better. I've got, looks like the guy Paul from the Off-Grid Desert Farmer channel on YouTube he's got the sickness, so I sent him and Adrian a message with it's got a video of how to make your own medication, which it's the same exact medication that President Trump took when COVID started, and it was very effective. The problem is that since the start of the pandemic, that was before they had any other real treatments for it. Since then, all of the factories in Asia that manufacture that particular compound caught on fire. They were destroyed. I think there were 3 different facilities in Asia that made that stuff. So you can't get it anymore, even if you do have a doctor that would prescribe it. But you can make it. If you're interested in obtaining the recipe, I have a video on how to make it. Leave me your information in the comments, and I'll make sure that you receive that. Just give me an email and I'll send it to you as a clip. It's just a short clip. It's really easy to make with products that are, it only takes two plants that you can get pretty much everywhere in the United States. So yeah, just give me a shout and I will make sure that you get the information. Here's the temple. You can see it for all its glory. There used to be a couple of huge cargo ships down here, but I guess, I don't know if they're trying to sell them or what, but they've been gone for a while, a couple months. One of them had to get towed out. The other one left under its own power. Got sleepy dogs. Sleeping dogs. They don't look too hungry. That's good. Oh shit, I gotta cut through here. They're working up above, so they don't want you to cut through down here. I don't know if I've showed you guys the other side of the original temple. This is a holy place. It's kind of quiet here today, though. So we'll catch the ferry over here and go across. I gotta head into town. Okay. Yeah, I'll show you that that hyacinth plant. There was so much of it today I couldn't launch my boat. Yeah, there it is. When the wind blows just right, it all comes up against this wall here, down the whole edge of the river. So it's pretty hard for me to launch my kayak over the wall and paddle through that crap. Plus there's, occasionally there will be snakes in there, and some of the snakes are venomous. We have a lot of cobras and various sea snakes and vipers here. We have all different kinds of vipers that are quite poisonous. So probably a good idea to stay out of this kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna pause the recording here, and then I'll rejoin shortly. Like a couple of the ships took off today. There were 4 of them here last time. Yeah, you can see all this hyacinth has just come down. This stuff is really bad news too. Apparently, I think it was King Rama number 5. Was traveling in Indonesia, I think, and he found some of that hyacinth plant. He thought it was really pretty, so he decided to bring some back to Thailand, and unfortunately it was a Trojan horse. It just took over. And you can see that the plant has a root system that is buoyant, and the plant itself has a chamber inside that holds air so it'll float. And what happens is this plant floats from where it is, and pieces break off all along its route to the sea. And as it does so, it colonizes all the area where little parts break off. And it's gotten to the point now where a lot of the hyacinth has gotten into the drainage systems in Bangkok and in other places, other metropolitan areas here in Thailand, and it's caused huge problems with the ability of the countryside and the roadways to drain properly. So you'll get standing water on the roadways, on the highways, and it's really been a disaster. I think they have ships and vessels that are decent sized that have equipment on them where they can go and scoop up the hyacinth and grind it up into little pieces and put it in a big container on the ship that they can take to shore, and then they can dump all the hyacinth chunks and pieces on dry land where it's just used as like a mulch or a compost kind of material, and it won't clog up all the infrastructure they have. But it's been a really bad deal. So anytime we get a big wash of it down the river by our compound, I'm kind of sidelined. I can't get out on my kayak and go on the river because it's hard to push through it if you're in a hand-powered or a paddle type of kayak boat. It's hard to muscle it around. And if there are ships coming through the water that are putting up a bow wave or a big wake, you can get stuck in a big clump of it, you know, and your little kayak can get flipped, and it's just a pain in the ass to deal with. So, not cool, man. Not cool. Anyway, so I'm going to go just across the river over here to Mahachai and pick up some supplies and stuff. It's pretty cheap to get around here. It's to go across from Tachalom to Mahachai is 3 baht, which would be, that's from right over here to over there, it's 10 cents. Wow, look at all that stuff. It's all over. Hard to paddle through that. What a drag. Anyway. But it's nice to get out. Nice to get out of the house. Anyway, I'll hop back on it in a little bit. Talk to you later. This is really good. And bitter melon. Oh. Well, this is all curry paste. If you could smell how it smells down here, you'd be dizzy. There's all the curry paste and aromatic herbs and stuff. This is really slow right now because it's later in the morning. Oh, a white lady. Oh, I thought she was a white lady. She was a blonde-haired Thai lady. Something you don't see very often. Look at all the peppers. Aroy. Huh. Yeah, it's later in the morning now. Lots of good stuff to eat. So I was down here about 5 years ago, and I think it was a holiday. It was super duper crowded. There were like 15 times as many people down here. You could hardly walk through the area. And it was during I think it was in April. It was really, really hot. And these two guys come riding up to us, or kind of waddling up to us on they were in these big BMW adventure bikes, like 1250s. And they said, "Excuse me, sir." They wanted to know which way to the Mahachai fish market. And I said, "Gentlemen, you are in the middle of it." They were riding up from Malaysia on their BMWs, and they were going to go to, I think they were going to Mongolia. And they were in all their adventure gear. It must have been close to 100 degrees and 80% humidity right at high noon. Oh, I felt so bad for them. Yeah, so hot, so hot. Wow, there's nobody down here today. It's weird. Okay, well, I always like to show the market off. It's always cool down here to check out this stuff. It's fun to be able to walk down here from where I'm at in over by Wat Krok, because it's only about altogether round trip, it's about a 2-mile walk, and there's 2 boat trips on the route, and it's always exciting down here. There's always something different to see. I guess the best time to come down here is before the sun is up in the morning, because I think most of these stalls set up at about 3 o'clock in the morning when it's really early, and it'd be a lot cooler down here. There's lots of these gold merchants down here that people buy jewelry and stuff rather than investing in the stock market here. It's really common for people to just put their extra savings into gold chains and gold, not really coins, but gold, just under a 1 ounce piece of gold. And the gold here is a little bit different than it is in the Western world. It's not quite, I don't think it's quite as pure. It's almost as pure. I think it's like 96% instead of 99.9. It's just a different mix that they use here, but it's all standard here. That's just the way they do it in Southeast Asia. Whew. Getting hot. Okay, well, that's enough for now. I'll catch you guys in a bit. Okay, I thought I'd show you this. This naval vessel always goes by our compound. I never have a chance to really look at it. It's a police vessel, I guess. Firecrackers. Hey, it's me. I gotta get a haircut one of these days. I bet you that thing can get right up and go. Sometimes I paddle upriver. We live down around the bend here about a mile and a half. But sometimes I'll paddle up here and go past the Buddha and up about 2.5 miles from here is Ramatu Highway, or Highway 35. And there's a big bridge there that I'll go. I've gone up past there before, but it's one of those paddle trips you want to do when the tide is favorable, because if you have to fight the tide, you can see, you can see the water moves right along through here. At certain stages of the tide. Okay, and this is a little skate park they have for people to shred. Yes, it's always very important to shred and get radical. So anyway, I guess I'll go ahead and catch the ferry back. Both of them. And go back and see what's on the news. Might even take a shower. I have a shower outside, which is great. It's really nice to be able to come back from, when you're out and about. You get really hot here. Even on a nice day, it's because it's usually pretty humid. So it's nice to be able to go back to the compound and just take off my shoes, and I'll just turn on the shower with all my clothes on and just completely rinse off, and I'll wring out my clothes to dry, and there's nobody back there to see me, so I'm not worried about it. Here's another. This is the downtown kind of event center they have for celebrations and holidays, and they'll have cultural exhibitions here, like dances and traditional ceremonies, that kind of stuff. Ooh, look at this. Howdy, Cobb. Okay. That's that.